With all the talk about Kevin McCarthy dropping out of the speaker's race, one lawmaker has a plan to fix some of the chaos and gridlock on Capitol Hill. Florida Republican David Jolly is pushing a plan to force all members of Congress to work a 40-hour work week so things actually get done and done on time. Jessica, should lawmakers have to work full-time like the rest of us?
Absolutely. I can't believe this is even a conversation. I mean, I think it's 137 days that they worked last year. There's a lot of talk about how many votes Marco Rubio's missed because he's on the campaign trail, and even before that. I think they absolutely should. I mean, this is the reason that Congress has a 14% approval rating. This is the reason that 79% of Americans think that Congress is out of touch with them, and 52% think that they're corrupt. I'm not saying it's going to fix it all, but when people are working 2-3 jobs and still not making ends meet, why can't our congressmen we pay $174,000 per year not work a 40-hour work week?
Listen, there are others who say, well, let me see what Michelle has to say. By the way, Congress approval rating at 14% is almost as high as ISIS approval rating. Michelle.
I actually think that this is a terrible idea. I think that when you have members of Congress in office, they actually do more harm than they do good. I think that we should return to what our founding fathers believed in, which was a part-time Congress, where members of Congress are paid very little. They just work a few months out of the year. They can be called in for emergency sessions, but they are out. They have their own jobs. They work wherever they need to work, and that's where they get the bulk of their money. But they're not insulated from the rest of Americans, because that's what's happening. We have a bubble here in Washington where all of Congress is here. They don't understand the struggles of the American people because they're always here schmoozing and hanging out with their other members of Congress.
Go ahead, John. But this is bipartisan on both sides. There's dysfunction, right, John?
Well, Eric, I'll quote Ronald Reagan. I mean, show me an executive who works long, hard hours, and I'll show you a bad executive. I mean, the point isn't to work a number of hours. It's the ideas. It's the efficacy of the implementation that matters. I mean, government worked a long time on the deal with Iran. We worked a long time, many hours on Obamacare, but those were terrible ideas. And it just shows you just a bankruptcy, I think, of the electorate. I mean, half the people want term limits, and the other half want people longer in office. Again, it's the ideas that have to change.
You guys do realize we're talking about 40 hours here. We're talking about like less of a work week than majority of Americans make. We're not saying spend 100 hours their week like you work in an investment bank. We're talking about an 8-hour day.
I think the problem, though, is that members of Congress are out of touch with the American people, and keeping them here in Washington in this bubble, insulated from everyone else, is only going to make it worse. They can work those hours at home. I'd love to see them in their constituency offices. They just have to be doing something to better America, not out drinking, not doing.
You know what else is a good idea?
He's doing something. They make it worse.
Another idea floated recently by, I believe it was a senator. I'm not sure who floated this idea. Not a bad idea, though. If the government shuts down or if they don't have a budget, members of Congress don't get paid. And I'm not talking don't get paid until they figure it out. I mean, they don't get paid during those days, weeks, or months that we don't have a budget. Anyone quick thought on that, John?
They don't get paid. These people are mostly multimillionaires, and that's a good thing. Getting paid shouldn't be the issue here, Eric, nor should it be working the right number of hours. It should be having the right ideas and protecting Americanism. And you know what? If that can be done in 35 hours instead of 40, that's even better.
Now, Jess, let me throw this out. Let me throw this in your lap. This Craigslist ad, you guys, you have that. Throw the Craigslist ad.
It's so good.
You want to tell us what that is?
It's a Craigslist ad the Democrats put out in terms of looking the qualities that they would like to see or that they know that you need in the next Speaker of the House, Republican Speaker. And, you know, you need to be a Hillary basher. You need to be good with child care.
You know what my favorite one is, Michelle, at the very bottom? Rhinos need not apply.
See, Democrats are funny. And Hillary was funny on SNL, I promise.
All right. Michelle, last thought.
I disagree. I don't think Hillary has any sense of humor at all and not charming whatsoever.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Coming up, it's being called the largest prison release of its kind ever. Our government is about to set free thousands of inmates back onto the streets. Compassionate and cost-saving, or dumb and downright dangerous? We debate. You decide.